Hey everybody! I'm here today to do a Mazda 3 10-year ownership review. This is a 2010 Mazda 3, and my wife and I have owned it for 10 years. So basically I wanted to do a review of it 10 years later. If you like these types of videos, then let me know, because I'd like to do more of them. These are ones that I have a lot of personal opinion and connection to, so just drop a comment below and I'll do more of these types of videos. Now, just for full clarification, my wife bought this car about 10 years ago, okay? Roughly 10 years ago at the time of filming this. When I release it, it might be a little bit more than 10 years, but she bought it about 10 years ago, and she bought it before we started dating, but we met each other about 8.5 years ago. So with that being said, I've been with this car with her, for almost the entirety of the 10 years. So just for full disclosure. Now, first of all, the condition is still great. My wife keeps this car in fantastic shape. I'm not similar, but it's her car, so I treat her with respect. My cars have always just been disasters, but the condition of the seats, the condition of the car itself is great. The condition of the engine is fantastic. Now I'm going to actually mount the camera over here on the windshield, on the window over here, sorry about that, and I'll take it for a drive and I'll tell you about my own opinion on the vehicle 10 years later. So space wise, it's great. I mean, we have car seats in the other vehicle, which is an SUV, a Honda CR-V, but we could have easily fit the car seats in this car, okay? So it has enough space to accommodate a couple of kids. The trunk is pretty spacious. I always end up carrying some house renovation materials and project materials around with it. In terms of problems, we actually haven't had any significant problems with the car. We've had to do brakes a few times. We've had to replace a couple of minor wear and tear parts. And one time it didn't start on us, but that was because the battery had drained out and died. So a completely normal wear and tear. So overall, I mean, it's been pretty great for us. I have a battery booster kit in the trunk just in case. But yeah, it's been fantastic. I mean, in terms of bang for your buck, this car has been paid off for many years now. We paid it off a long time ago. So we've been driving this car essentially for free for the last 6 years or something, or 7 years. A long time. And it has performed wonderfully. At the time of making this video, it has 118,363 kilometers on it. So it doesn't have a ton of kilometers because we kind of work close to where we live and we don't travel that far, but it does still have a decent amount of kilometers, okay? In terms of like power loss and speed, and you know what, I don't know the horsepower statistics of this engine. This has I believe it's a 2-liter engine, not the 2.5-liter engine. You have two options for this Mazda 3, the beefed up engine and the smaller one, which my wife didn't get. We weren't dating at the time, or else I'd say, honey, listen, get the 2.5, baby, what are you doing here, right? But she got the smaller engine, totally fine. But it's still got a lot of power. I'll demonstrate in just a moment. Like, for a car of this age, it's got some pickup. There's a speed bump up here. We're gonna slow down, okay? All right, yeah, maybe that's a sign that I should not go that fast. But overall, it's got a great amount of pickup, a great amount of speed. We're passing my grandmother's house up ahead. I don't know how much I should say. I like to keep my personal life kind of private, so I'm just gonna peek in, see what's going on. She is, at the time of filming this, 94 years old. Nonna, che fai, babe? What are you doing? No, she's just hanging out in the family room. I could see her there. Okay, so anyways, basically, it's a fantastic car. The steering is fantastic. The power is fantastic. It still feels like a nice, sporty, little peppy car. I still get a kick out of it. I love driving this car because the truck is amazing. The CR-V is amazing, right? But it's higher up, and I like that. But you feel like you're higher up. Whereas when I get this car, it's like, yeah, baby, let's go. Let's go, okay? It really just feels like a nice little peppy sports car, and it gives me that little kick that I look for sometimes. I really look forward to driving it. Even the bulbs, like even something as simple as the bulbs, right? Like, the bulbs in the car usually go out. Like, you're gonna have to replace the bulbs many times in the lifetime of a car. I've only had to replace the bulbs like 3 or 4 bulbs in total in the 10-year span of this car, which is crazy, So really, this has been financially one of the best purchases that she has made, that we've made. She bought it, we paid it off together. So at the end of the day, it's great because you're getting an insane bang for your buck in terms of this vehicle. Now, I can't say that every single Mazda 3 is gonna is going to be like that. This is a 2010. I can't say every Mazda 3 is going to be the same. What I can say though is that it's definitely a symbol of the quality of Mazda as a company and Mazda 3 as the car. It's absolutely great. There's a little tiny little things that are going on the car. The rear view mirror, for instance, is starting to peel a little bit on the outside, right? Little tiny little things. Sometimes when I go to start the vehicle, it cranks a little bit longer than usual, like vroom. But that is fairly normal for a 10-year-old car. I think, personally, we're gonna keep this car from at the time of filming this for at least another year and a half. And then it's gonna be time to upgrade because, you know, once you get to the 150,000 kilometer mark, it's not to say that a car is useless because you can still get a ton of use out of the car, but definitely you start looking at problems that you might encounter and major repairs that might happen. So with that being said, financially we are okay to get a new vehicle now, but I want to push it because I'm cheap, right? You know, so financially it would make sense to wait as long as we can before we hit that mark. So in my opinion, we got about another year and a half worth of driving, and then we'll have to start looking into getting a new vehicle. Plus, if our family might be expanding at that point, then we're probably gonna have to get an extended SUV, like a bigger SUV that can, you know, suit more children and more cargo and more kids stuff, if you know what I mean. You know, all the stuff that you gotta bring along with you. But that's basically it. Overall, I love this car. You know, my wife she looks at me, she says like, you know, like you're at this, I think I'm going into past a review at this point, but hopefully you're still listening. She's like, you're at this income point where we're making more than enough income to be able to afford any car that we want, but I still like driving this 10-year-old Mazda 3, you know? So just process that. Like, that's not to brag, but financially I can afford the car of my dreams at this point. Whatever car I want, realistically I could pay for and afford, not finance, like buy cash and still got lots of money left over. So the idea is this: for me to still want to drive this car after having the money to buy whatever I want, that speaks volumes to the quality of the car. So I guess it still is a review at this point, so hopefully you stay tuned for that. But that's it. You know, before we sell the car, I do want to do plenty more videos with it, so stay tuned because I want to do lots of videos of me replacing the parts. So if you want to see videos of me doing things with this car, now my wife has given me permission to use it and do things with it instead of just drive it. Before it was just drive it, now I can do things to it video wise, mechanic wise, repair wise. Drop a comment below telling me what you want to see me do, and I'll do it, okay? If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.